So, summarizing, what's the idea of the picture?
So basically, I guess the idea is to create some comparison between the past and the future, or even the present of the communication technologies.
Related to communication, right?
Exactly, like regular paper notebooks, as tablets, mobile,
laptops, mobile, gadget camera.
Mobile against regular telephones.
Perfectly typing machine and laptop, as you can see right there.
Exactly, and so on and so forth.
What do you, very good. What do you see as a major difference about communication back in the day and nowadays, Gabriel? Is there much of a difference?
Definitely, sure. I believe nowadays we have the opportunity to widespread some information around the world with just single clicks. You can publish something, whatever you want, in a social media like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and this could surround everyone like in a few clicks. And if we take a look in the past, or not in a long past, but back some years ago, we need to publish it in some journal, papers, magazines,
newspapers, right?
Exactly. And even the telephone was not so
popular, huh?
Yes, not so accessible. I mean, I guess that's the idea. Nowadays we have mobile phones.
Most of the people, right? Most of the people,
exactly,
they have a mobile phone. They can post anything wherever they are, right?
Yes, and definitely
around the world.
The capacity of contain information and use this information, it's pretty interesting. So communication nowadays definitely developed a lot in the last decade.
Wow, I really think it was a boom, right? Comparing the last decade to now, or to now, no, compare the last decade, for example, to some years ago, right? I think in the last decade, for example, there was a great improvement in communication, right? Such as new smartphones, high-tech computers, right? Top-tier tablets, as you have mentioned, right? And the internet.
Yes, exactly. If we think about internet as a concept of communication, it's amazing how internet affect every single person in the world nowadays. Great. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. It's a great concept, right? Internet has come to play a major role in communication, right? For example, not only video conferences, but for example, do you use probably internet for many other things, right? How do you use the internet, for example, every day, Gabriel? Not only for video conference, but also.
Oh, sure. So for me, internet, I definitely use internet every single day in my life. Because it's kind of a tool to research, to apply for your work. For me, as a doctor, I apply every single day to research for consult some new treatments, some medicine, exactly, some dose of some medicines. So it's
so you are always reading, right?
Exactly, always reading, always researching, and definitely if we take the internet as a tool for that, I use. Yes, it's amazing.
On a daily basis, right?
On a daily basis, definitely.
We use it. Perfect. That's a very good one. Let's have a look here. Do you think the communication is changing between people nowadays, Gabriel? Do you think, for example, my question is this affecting society and people's behavior?
So how communication is affecting people nowadays?
Exactly.
Well, if we look at this concept of new communication, high technology communication, I believe that we, in a certain way, we are kind of close about communication. So if we think about some families that the son is living abroad in another country, and the parents in another country as well. They can keep touch and contact.
Get in
They
contact.
keep in touch, get in contact every single day using just regular smartphones and calls, video calls, exactly. But I believe we have talked about this before. If we take a look at the new communication, new technology about that, if we look for example, in a regular scene of in a restaurant, in a dinner, a family dinner, and the kids are using the smartphones every single minutes, and there's no more, you know, eye conversation,
eye to eye contact.
Yeah, so this is kind of, I believe, the negative aspect of this new technology. But like I said,
it has been influencing, for example, people in a negative way when it comes down to socializing face to face.
Exactly, but I don't like to look at that way. I believe the new technology and communication, and if we think about this time of pandemic and of COVID-19, this new technology of communication, they definitely get people close, and you can face chat with every single person.
People are relying so much on tech, on high-tech gadgets, that they don't see more, for example, opportunities to meet face-to-face or hang out with friends or having a conversation eye to eye, as you have pointed out, right?
Well, I try to believe that it doesn't affect that, but it's hard to see, for example, every single kid nowadays, they
not only kids, right?
Yes, exactly. they have a mobile in their pockets, and this is kind of weird. As a kid, I used to, run every single day.
Me too. My first mobile I got when I was 17, 18.
Yeah, probably something like that. So I used to bike every single day, play football, and so a regular kid. I don't know if this is, I'm not trying to compare.
I got your point when you mean regular kid. A regular kid from the 80s and 90s, let's say that.
Exactly. I'm not trying to compare if it's something is right or wrong.
No, definitely. Relax.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to see if this new way of life,
I lived my childhood, I think it was very cool, very good. Nowadays, of course, I used to get in contact with technology very young, right? I had the opportunity. Probably you had the opportunity as well. But even though back in the day, right, for example, we used to go more on the streets to meet face to face, to talk to people, right, Gabriel? An active childhood, right?
And this is interesting because if we think about face-to-face chat, nowadays you can have a business meeting, job interview using
this is interesting.
Using technology. So if we take a look about this concept of having new opportunities using new communication technology, this is pretty interesting, I believe. And definitely might come in handy in a certain way.
It might come in handy in a certain way, definitely agree.
Okay, got it. Yeah, of course, politicians, they usually used to be very good communicators. They, yes, I've seen a lot of things related to that with Obama as well. He has a lot of non-verbal communication, the way that and how they repeat the words and the sentence. This is pretty interesting, the way that he can keep the attention of the audience.
Engage the audience, huh?
Exactly.
Good.
And these interpersonal skills, yes, definitely. Self-confidence, how to verbal communication, non-verbal communication.
Makes a great difference, right?
I believe that's the skills of a good communicator.
Completely, right? Verbal communication, self-confidence, empathy, coping with pressure, and these kinds of things as well. Good one. That's perfect. Obama is one that you find it interesting?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Good. What comes to your mind when you see, for example, that picture over there? Gabriel?
Okay, there are
Is the woman
two people.
talking about many topics?
Yes, a lot of topics, but it seems a lot of confused, a lot of information.
That's good. Do you think the man is confused or not?
I believe so. They try to figure out what she's thinking, what she's trying.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Perfectly. This is a rambling speech. Repeat after me. Rambling.
Rambling.
Yeah, serious. Happens with many
Well,
people.
and like we said, it's kind of a soft skill. There are a lot of technology to develop this kind of skills, but if you do not practice this, you're never gonna have it.
Completely. So
Yes.
articulate, in this particular case here, Gabriel, it's about speaking, right?
Mhm.
An articulate, this is interesting. Repeat after me, Gabriel. Articulate. Yeah, articulate person, exactly. So an articulate person, it's the opposite of a person who has a rambling speech, all right? It's very articulate, has some body movements, gestures. It's a person that speaks very well. Have a look.
Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Another example, Obama here, an articulate person, right?
Well, mm-hmm.
Good. That's perfectly one. It's very good to work on that, huh? And of course, this is also part, for example, of a good communicator, in my opinion. This is a good for life, right? Repeat after me. Persuasive.
Persuasive.
Sieve. This is interesting. Persuasive. Sieve.
Okay. Persuasive.
Good. Persuasive. Exactly. It's a great skill, right?
Persuasive.
Yeah. A persuasive speech. Who is a persuasive person to you, Gabriel?
Well,
you think this person is very good at persuading people, right? The verb is to persuade, okay? Verb.
Okay. Persuasive. So I try to think that sellers, they try to be or to have a persuasive speech, because
they must have, right?
They must have. It's kind of a own skill, because they're trying to sell something that sometimes you even do not want that. So
but I think, I think for you to sell something, you need to believe in your product, Gabriel.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's horrible. If you don't believe in your product, you are not going to be persuasive, in my opinion. Although some people are very good at doing that, huh?
Well, yeah, definitely. So sometimes in my case, I don't know exactly what's in English the name of this kind of job, but they are people that do the marketing of some medicine. They work for the pharmacology industry. Yeah, exactly. They used to be very persuasive because they are kind of in a competition in the market. And if we do like this kind of as a medicine device, we will not buy the other one. So they are always trying to persuade some doctors with persuade. Okay. Some doctors with dinners and travel and so on. They try to buy you. So they have a very persuasive speech to buy some doctors, attractive speeches.
Got it.
Exactly.
A speaker, a focused speaker, right? But pay attention to the pronunciation. This is quite interesting, Gabriel. Repeat after me. Focused.
Focused.
Perfect.
Focused.
Focused. Good.
Focused.
This is good pronunciation. To be focused. All right.
Focused.
Great one. Which of these words apply to a good communicator, and which of these words apply to a bad communicator, in your opinion? And of course, if you are able to come up with 2 ideas that are not here in the list, I would like you to tell me as well. By the way, repeat after me here, succinct.
Succinct.
Yeah, succinct. Succinct.
Succinct.
There is a good content that makes sense, a succinct speech that makes sense, for example, right? And of course, repeat every hesitant.
Hesitant.
Inhibited, okay, that's all right. Gabriel, I give you 2 minutes, please. You are going to compare for me a good communicator and the bad communicator according to the adjectives you hold here. All right?
Okay, sounds
Perfectly.
great.
So I have a question for you, Gabriel. What do you have to do for this one? Do you have to select some adjectives here?
Yes, to the bad communicators and
compare, right?
Yeah, and compare with good
Do you
communicators.
need to come up with some other characteristics that come in your mind?
Yes, I can.
How many?
2.
Good. Fantastic. Let's go.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Focused. Coherent.
Oh, this is interesting. Repeat after me, Gabriel. Coherent.
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 Yeah, that was a trick one.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you. Coherent.
Coherent. Responsive, I believe.
Responsive person, right? You need to
Eloquent.
be responsive to the audience. You know, you see
Exactly.
something in the audience, and then you are responsive, right? In addition, what's the next one? And
Eloquent.
good.
Sensitive. Sensitive person. Extrovert.
Good one.
Persuasive.
Okay.
Well, succinct, I was in doubt about that, but I believe that could apply for
good communicator, right?
Sometimes if you are over succinct, maybe it's not something good, but
people will get confused depending on the way, depending how it is, right?
In addition to that, if the person is coherent, you're probably it will be able to connect the ideas and the thoughts in a better way. And moreover, definitely to be extrovert, it keeps the attention of the audience. It can make the conversation more fluent and more dynamic as well. And definitely it might come in hand in a certain way to more specific conversation topics.
Great one, good one. Whereas, on the other hand, talking about bad communicators,
on the other hand, if we think about bad communicator skills and adjectives.
Very good. Adjectives.
Adjectives. Hesitant.
Hesitant.
Hesitant. Reserved. Hesitant. Oh, inhibited.
Good.
Well, persuaded. Rambling, definitely, and vague. And I will choose 2 more to add to that list of
Let's go.
Bad communication. And I was thinking about shy, maybe shy in a general way.
Well, so would like you to tell me about why did you choose timid, redundant, and hesitant, for example, because the others we're talking about practically. How about this one here? A hesitant person.
Well, yeah, when it comes down to bad communicator skills, when we think about hesitant, definitely do not deliver a good image in a speech. And in addition, it keeps the idea of being redundant. So the idea of having the same idea over and over again and being the same topic, and you are not delivering more information,
right?
Exactly. And definitely when we are thinking about some audience, some presentation, some business meeting, if you are timid, if you're shy. Sorry,
anything else you would like to add up?
That's the idea.
Great explanation once again. And pay attention to the pronunciation of some words here, like we have seen together, some new words, like coherent, persuasive, all right?
Persuasive,
but yeah, they have some tricky pronunciations, eloquent, hesitant, all right? But just this one, everything else was good.
Articulate.
Articulate is exactly, people tend to say 8, but it's articulate.
Articulate.
And so on and so forth, right? Perfectly. So Gabriel.
Perfect, Diego.
Great one. I wish you a great night.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the class.
Welcome.
See you next week.
Have a great night, Gabriel. See you. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.